No Jumper recently posted court documents show a mom coached her blank daughter on how to seduce R. Kelly and encouraged her to have his babies. I'm going to read this but not verbatim, just because I may have to skip over language that's not suitable for YouTube. You should text him and be like, you're gonna be my boo, and see what he say. To which Jane responded, LMAOO. Jane traveled independently to meet defendant in Stockton, California, where he was performing on May 1st, 2015. She stayed in contact with her mother the entire time. At one point, Jane explained to her mother how she ended up going to Stockton to see defendant's performance. I told you he asked me did I want to come to his show. I said of course, and he said okay, then let's pack the stuff up. He was even putting my stuff in his bag. Jane and her mother remained in constant communication before defendant's show. Jane's mother instructed her about what to wear and made suggestions about how she should behave at defendant's show. I would blow him little kisses and wink at him and bite the tip of my fingers, mess with him real good, do something seductive, then make a silly face, laugh out loud. Jane and her mother continued to text throughout defendant's performance. At one point, Jane and her mother exchanged the following text. Jane, he's singing the whole show to me. Mom, LOL, too funny. Jane, FRRR. Jane, LMAOO. Jane, this man in love. Mom, oh my God, you're gonna marry him and have his babies. Mom, LOL, my son-in-law gonna be older than me. Mom, too dang funny. Jane, LMAOO. Mom, well, you better get signed first, then married second. Mom, he gonna seduce you tonight. Jane, LOL. Mom, you have to give him a massage before he go to bed. Jane, LMAOO. No, I doubt it. Mom, girl, you better or he will get someone else too. Jane's mother continued to encourage her to seduce defendant. At one point, Jane told her mother that she caught feelings for the defendant. According to Jane, she and the defendant had for the first time after the concert. At no point during her travels with defendant in California in April and May 2015 did Jane disclose that she was 17 years old or that she had lied to him about her age. After the trip to California, Jane traveled to meet defendant in Las Vegas, where he was performing. No rational juror could conclude that the defendant enticed, persuaded, induced, or coerced Jane to travel to California. Jane's contemporaneous conversations with her mother show that defendant invited Jane to join him, and she excitedly accepted. When her mother asked her when he asked her to travel, Jane told her mother, whenever I tell him I can. Tomorrow if I choose. By her own admission, Jane chose to travel with defendant because she wanted to, and her mother encouraged her. While this court concluded that Jane's parents' testimony was not relevant for the purpose defense counsel sought to introduce it, Jane text messages with her mother introduced as governments. Assuming that the documentation that No Jumper posted was correct and factual, hold these parents accountable. I don't care how many years they get. I don't care if they thought X, Y, and Z. If they didn't really think much of it, hold them accountable. They not only fed their children to a predator, they then pretended as if they didn't know anything about it. Hold them accountable. Give them as many years as they gave R. Kelly. When I think back about Aaliyah and her whole marriage and her being around him at 12 and 13 years old, I often go back, how many people are allowing a 12 and 13-year-old daughter to just be in the studio with a grown man? How many people would not know that their 12, 13, 14-year-old daughter got married? And how many people would allow this to not know and allow this to go on for 3-4 years? To look back now as an adult, there is no way that Aaliyah's mother didn't know something was going on. And even the way they went about it, by severing all ties with R. Kelly and never speaking about it, shows that they knew more than they let the public know. They decided to let us think whatever we wanted, even though we knew that there was a marriage certificate to only find out years later, after this young girl is dead, that the mother knew more than she let on. I believe some of the rumors about her mother, and it's unfortunate that we allow our black daughters to be groomed by older men and we don't do anything about it. However, in this situation, not only do we not do anything about it, these women allowed their daughters to go near this man. We don't have a community. The black community is a con community. Everybody has a con. And this con was getting young girls, and black mothers helped him to do that. Hold everyone who was involved accountable. I don't care how long ago it happened. If you can go after R. Kelly, you can go after the mothers and fathers. Hold them all accountable.